afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the Bookshop. Thank you guys for coming out. It is like, I think it's a cool day. So I think you guys got out on a cool day. It could have been, we could have been out sweating and everything going on here, but it's a beautiful day. This amazing thing happened. You know, we was, oh, by the way, I'm Donna Craddock, co-owner of the Dockbookshop. Everybody's a familiar face in here. Love you all. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We were setting up. We were getting everything together. All these, I don't know if everybody took a picture of all these ancestors that are in our city, right? And we put them up, we take them down August, after Black August, and we don't put them back up again until Kwanzaa, right? And these ancestors have been up all this whole season. And you know who came down? They wanted some attention today. I said, Mama. She said, I gotta put Miss Ruby Lee back up there. I was like, wait, what just happened here? I said, you know, I was doing, you know, going around the store and they brought the ladder out. Our little staff that's passing out tickets here, he brought the ladder out. I said, why are you bringing the ladder out? She said, Ruby Lee just came down, right? Out of nowhere. I kid you not. I had to stop and you believe that? Y'all would know. Y'all okay, because y'all gonna have to tell me about this. Because I believe in ancestors. So I'm like, I'm still trying to, I've been running around trying to digest this, right? And Mama Ruby and Ossie Davis, I want y'all to send me to they did an autograph for me back in college. In college, I tell all the students that go to college, get on those lecture boards, because those scholars, those that have worked this community, those that have fought the fight of justice, equality, and they are still amongst us, they deserve to come out to these institutions. And a lot of times they're coming out to these institutions because we sit on the board, we sit on the lecture board. And one of the ones, the boards I sat on at Iowa State, I was able to bring in Dr. Ivan Red Serma, Dr. John Harlan Clark, and we did Ozzie and Ruby Lee. And so because we sit on those boards, so I encourage you, if you have young people going to college, come get on that board, because they are the ones that can help with the funding for a lot of these scholars. And that's how I was able to meet Ossie Davis and Ruby Lee. Baba Ossie Davis and Ruby Lee. But back to the Dockbookshop. The Dockbookshop has been around for 15 years. We done made it 15 years. So I saw our Justice and Data Sorority. They did a Black Girl Magic, and I said, you know, the fact that we've been here for 15 years, I think that's part of that Black Girl Magic thing. So we're celebrating the whole year, and that brings me up to my next thing. It's sizzling hot out here, and we have a lot of girlfriend things, girlfriend trips going on, and he's passing out tickets. So if anybody follow us, we're gonna know if you follow us or like us or make a comment, and we're giving away 3 of these. Kimberly Lawson Roby is one of our faves. We do a lot with Kimberly Lawson Roby across the country, and she always shouts out to us, and she got her podcast. But this summer we're handing out, we got some donations, so we're giving out for Sister Friends Forever. So you guys, if you at 7:20, our production team right back here, they're gonna know when you like, follow, share, comment. You can like us on YouTube, just look up subscribe on YouTube, and he will capture that. And at the end, our faithful assistant, Brandy, she's tracking everything. And so she's going to help us hand out some of these books. So if you like us on Facebook, if you follow us on Twitter, IG, and especially YouTube, because that's where all the magic is going to happen. So if you do any one of those, just look up the Dockbookshop and hit subscribe, and they're going to let me know. And then we're going to have a drawing for these great books. I know a lot of people may not get out to the Essence Festival, but we're going to have it here, and you can start with this girl strictly. So, turning it over to one of our fans that's been here. He doesn't remember this, you guys, but we've been doing a lot of events in terms of Black history and culture. And before I started the bookstore, I did an event at the hotel. This hotel, I don't know if you remember coming there. Mike, when you put incense all around the hotel room, you lit the whole room up. I can't remember the name. It was over in Arlington. But anyway, he's been with us longer than he remembers right now. So I'm saying over 20 years. We've been in business for 15 years, and I knew him prior to opening the bookstore. And I'm so happy he's here with us today. We've been ups and downs, all these waves and all these things going, but we are all still here in the business, trying to fight a good fight for the arts. And so I really appreciate you and Stephonia for bringing Hasna Muhammad to Dr. Hasna Muhammad to the bookstore on today, and her lovely daughter is here as well. So I want to welcome her, and I want to bring the mic to the stage and turn this whole segment over to her. That's Stephonia. Thank you.
Come on, y'all get ready now. Come on now.
All right.
One more time for the Dockbookshop. Give it up. All right, we got one mic. We really don't need a mic. This is really for other people. I am Mike Guinn, and this wonderful, beautiful, graceful, royal person standing next to me is my shadow. No, give it up for Queen Ess, y'all. Stephonia W Roberts, everybody.
Thank you. And standing next to me is Mr. Humanity himself, the activist for all poets nationwide, Mr. Mike Guinn.
All right. One day I will publish 17 more books and catch up with you. How about that?
Okay, you got me.
There it is right there. All right, we are happy to have y'all here. We're going to be doing this thing. We got an opening for y'all. We got some wonderful poets sitting right here. We're going to do a little snippet of their bio, bring them up. They're going to, bam, get this thing going, get some energy going. And then we're going to bring up this wonderful, wonderful lady over here, y'all. And she's going to wow you. Trust me, if you haven't got a copy of the book, you will. And if you got a copy of the book and haven't had it signed yet, just wait. We'll get to you, okay? All right, so we appreciate y'all. I think we're gonna get this thing started. You ready?
I'm ready, baby, if you're ready.
Oh, well, who we bringing up first? Who we got?
All right. So this is gonna be, look, long story. I'm trying to be short-winded. This young lady has been a phenomenal person off and on Clubhouse. She is the owner of Poetry Vibe. She has been instrumental for me to participate in writing a poem about Dr. Maya Angelou, and she had an impersonator. I was so inspired by her. She has a gift, and we appreciate it. And while I'm looking up at her with stars in my eyes, I didn't know she was a stalker of mine way before I knew her. This wonderful poet, this wonderful MC, this wonderful host, she is set to wow us right now. So y'all open up your hands and give a round welcome to our poet, Queenie.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Mother Stephonia. All right. I didn't ask to be born in a world of disapproving, judging eyes. I wasn't wanted or accepted. Did they even love me? Born to drug-addicted parents, no time to raise me, shielded from truth, shaded by lies, moved from family to family inside my family. Will I be accepted and loved? I didn't ask to be here. I was only a child wanting to be loved, not used and abused. If you didn't want me here, why did you take me? No, I didn't come with food stamps and a check, but I'm well-behaved, smart, talented, and respectful. Yeah, you abused me. I said I didn't ask to be here. I'm gonna let it out, and I'm gonna tell my story. You let your husband abuse me while you sat on the bed watching as he made me get on his knees and put my head between his as he beat me with a big horse belt. Then I told you your daughter and her friends held me down and molested me. You did nothing. I didn't ask to be here. Nobody cared I hurt. Nobody cared I have pain. Just a little girl, what do I know? Did anybody know I tried to kill myself, cry my eyes out every night? Did anybody know I didn't ask to be here? I didn't ask to be here, but I was destined to be here. Fought millions to get here. And on March 30th, 1983, a queen was born, destined for greatness, blind to her purpose, wanting to be accepted and loved, going through trauma and pain over and over, not knowing who to trust, lost with no direction, praying, crying. My life, my every moment, my destiny, it's all in your hands, Lord. I know you can deliver me from those who could persecute against me relentlessly, amen. I didn't ask to be here, but I was destined to be here. All these tests and trials, it's my destiny. It's my testimony, designed for my purpose on purpose. A purpose so powerful, yes. It's power in walking by faith and not by sight. So yes, I will wait on the Lord. He will renew my strength. I'll mount up with wings as eagles. I'll run and not be weary. I'll walk and not faint. It is power in uplifting and encouraging yourself. Yes, ma'am. Tell yourself. You will discover all that is just, proper, and fair. And you will be empowered to make the right decisions as you walk into your destiny. You may not have asked to be here, but you were destined to be here. So, Queen, keep pushing, stay empowered, encouraged, never give up. And when things get tough, know that whatever test and trial comes your way is written. Queen, the purpose of life is a life of purpose. I said I was destined to be here. Thank you.
Let's get something straight right now. One more time, y'all. Come on now. Come on. A little bit of housekeeping, y'all. If you don't mind, cell phones on vibrate or silent. If you don't mind, turn your volume down. That way, if you happen to open up something and, YouTube or something like that, something pop up, you know what I'm saying? There you go. We don't want to have any distractions for this wonderful moment we're building together right now. All right. I'm going to bring up our next. Are you ready for the next artist? Say yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and read a little snippet, y'all. The bio is extensive. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in right here. All right. She is a U.S. Army veteran with a nursing background, licensed braider, activist, author, and poet. She came to impress, remember that, pronounce Ashe like Tasha, but not like Tasha. Please welcome to the stage the one and only Empress Aja. Nicole.
Yes, it is very true. I did serve in the active duty Army. I was a nurse, but it was very, very sad. It's the saddest thing I've ever done. So I became a happy poet. And so I only tell good stories. I do this for the art of storytelling. Before there were any books, we learned from one another. I read Dr. Muhammad's book this morning and I was one page in and I was just crying. So y'all be careful. Buy today, but make sure that when you read it, you're in a safe space so you won't have to drive, okay? Met a man. I met a monster. I met a man mislabeled monster in the museum made for undead poets, ranting and chanting about how he wasn't hollow and empty on the inside. Frankenstein, hence in a sense hell-bent on not straddling the fence, tried then me to convince that as it were, he had merged to the urge to refer to God Almighty as her. Modest mother goddess, both as his representative of the many moments her love had multiplied across the multiverse, infinitely, indefinitely, throughout time and space. Said modest mother goddess had tried not to dance too loudly, but to let the shine on all of them, so that no make or model of men would ever be forced to live in her shadow, except he chose to reside in her bosom. Said modest mother goddess had made lions out of lazy lovers, out of outright liars and thieves and tin men. Said modest mother goddess had been at war since that altercation broke out in paradise that one time. War with cherubim turned fiend. War with powers that wished to be more powerful than she. War because peace by any means wasn't really peace at all now, was it? War because she'd pained, given, sacrificed, put herself into submission enough, let her tell it. Said on voyage to Atlantis, they transplanted this werewolf mitochondrium, had Frankenstein howling at the mere mention of the moon, gesticulating all hell the womb. Said modest mother goddess had been the only love he'd ever known. Well, what would masquerading be without the mask? One mundane audience member asked. So Frankenstein went on and on about how at some finite point, every knee, every tongue would reverence the one who set the thermostat in Hades but does not scorch in the sun. No longer would hues of men bite and betray the breast that birthed them. 3:33 a.m., rumors rolling off tongue like whiffs of whiskey and rum. Frankenstein requested a response to allegations that all, if not some, feminine women still possess this maroon cocoon magic that could turn nature a freak of nature, beast, into sheep, you know, the kind civilized folk like. Then, now, I cannot confirm nor deny, I must keep it moving. Because modest mother goddess told me not to talk about it, but to prove it.
All right. That was so much fire. Thank you, baby. All right, y'all. Are y'all ready for our next poet? Yeah. All right. Next we got Miss Brianna Najee, who is an author, and she is a poet, and she also is a youth suicide prevention advocate and a mentor for over 10 years. Y'all, it's always wonderful to have someone that is in the cause of mental health. Y'all, welcome this young lady up to the mic as she graces us with her piece. Brianna!
Najee, yes. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Cool. So I have this piece that is new to the mic, but old in my journal. I was once asked, "Who are you?" So I told them, I be the infusion of all colors, black as a sheep. I don't run well with others. I am the conundrum of sorts, a question mark for those who can't find the language to judge me, because there is no language that can define me and nobody that can stop me. I am freer than your understanding of free, and lighter than the air you breathe. I flow through your cracks and make you an addict of my sin. I am the conundrum of sorts, unavailable to the arrangements of your alphabet. You can't spell me, because you can't cast what you leave in a casket. I am the mortician to your judgments, and I have your mind stuttering to the rendition of If This Isn't Love by New Edition. You would dance behind the mic of your mouth every time you see me, so speak up. But I'm the conundrum of sorts. There's no language that can define me and nobody that can stop me. I am freer than your understanding of free. See, your cognition just an audition for the devil. I hope to set you free, because your ignition have too many master keys. I am the conundrum of sorts. So use your words wisely when you speak of me. I will unanswer the answer to your questions you think you have of me. My potency has the rhythm to make you dance like a white person. So I forgive you for being offbeat, but I am the conundrum of sorts, and I am freer than your understanding of free. Thank you.
Y'all can do better than that. One more time for Brianna Najee. In your chairs, there's a flyer. One of them may actually have her picture on it. She will be one of the featured poets here for Blacknificent on August. That's right, Blacknificent on August the 19th, right here, y'all. It's going to be free refreshments, free wine. It's going to be amazing. And we used to have that in Frisco, but we thought we'd surround our Black poets with Black art, Black books, Black pictures, Blackness. That is trademark to the Dockbookshop. All right, just letting you know that's happening. Coming up next, y'all, our last poet, before we bring up our featured guest author. I want you to know this woman right here is a college grad, survivor. She is one of the most active poets that you don't know. She'll show up in a competition and take second, third place, take the money and run, go back home and come back. But she's always supporting arts. She's been doing it for years, and I've known her for years. She is a friend of mine. Please welcome the one and only Roletta Woodard. Give it up, y'all.
Yeah, I took off my shoes because, as he said, I'm a survivor. I started having seizures about 5 years ago that I almost wiped out anything and everything that I've learned. So I'm having to relearn things again, and my balance was totally affected from the seizures, and even walking in those makes me feel like I'm gonna fall. So I'm among friends, family, and hey, my toes are done. Hey, we good. Yeah, we good. So I wouldn't do nothing I wouldn't do at church. And I kick them off. So we're gonna get this started with a little piece that everyone seems to like. So here we go. You know, before George Floyd and the Tatiana Jeffersons, our people, humans, souls, minds, and bodies were raped, roped, and snatched from their lands. Kings of warriors, bravery, and manhood were picked at like ticks, treated beneath rabid dogs, but used up like a wild buffalo. Queens of splendor that gave birth to princes and princesses, all held captive in the foreign vessels. There was no sun that shined from backs bent, scrubbing the hopes, dreams, and freedom from the surface of bottomless pits of hatred. Crystal blue from paradise afar, now mingled with the stench and decay of royal blood. Chained, histories erased, tribes castrated at the root, artificially inseminated into a culture already chained and noosed by themselves. And the more they've tried to wipe out our innards with pieces of discard and refuse, we only nourished and became stronger with the venom they'd fed us. Smiled, for we knew that we were kings and queens and that they had been enslaved in bitterness, ignorance, and inferiority complexes long before they saw the beauty in us that they could never acquire. And still to this day, the barking echoes loudly and the skeleton fingers tries to chop out our generation. Our footless tracks of innocence is being gunned down in pretense of justice. Knowledge is being withheld, but we survive and thrive. Even with their disdain choking at us, we make it. Now, as they try to control us, they cannot extinct us. The whips and chains that tries to whip flesh from our magnificence still cannot discolor us or the deep, sooted blackness of their hearts. You see, before I was ever conceived, it had already been perceived that I would not achieve simply because of the root of my seed. But I made it. And no longer will I be a builder, constructing up a land where I will always and only be viewed as a laborer, only worth working in the factories that produce the soles of shoes that cover their murderous feet, to the cotton picking my ancestors picked to cover them in their white sheets. We are children of God. That's a fact. And as long as we trust him, keep his word, we'll wear a crown on our head. But on earth, we'll wear a bullseye on our back, being black. That's a fact.
One more time for all four of these wonderful ladies. Give it up for them, y'all.
Yeah.
By the way, Roletta also is going to be one of the featured poets at Blacknificent, y'all, August 19th, right here at the Dock Bookshop. It's a Saturday evening, y'all, 8 to 10. I always start in no time. I'll get you out of here, all right? Saturday, all right? That way, you know, if you want to go to the club, go home early for church, do your thing, okay? All right? We're going to share a short piece. We'd be remiss not to share a piece before Dr. Hasna takes the mic. You want me to go first?
Yes,
I'll go first. All right, I don't think I need a mic. I'm pretty loud for the country. All right, here we go. All right. You said I was born a bastard. That's what you told me, Mama. Dark moon of your nightmare, half and half, but not whole, of a sum from a story retold over and over again from the center of my soul. I was just 3 minutes removed from being torn from the uterus of then, back when the sun turned its back and shadows cried. And even though just a seed, I could still feel you bleed from daddy's dirty deed, but he was the bastard, Mama, not me. I remember swimming inside you as you lay near death. And when you were well enough to feel my movement, your anger and resentment rumbled like thunder, and wondered how much longer I had to be before you got rid of me. And even though an unwanted fetus, I knew who I was, Mama, your son, the unchosen one. But in the ovum of that moment, I felt you could see my existence, no longer resisting the urge to murder the unborn metaphor and leave me lying in a pool of aborted promises. And that day, today I learned to escape danger by dodging coat hangers, jabbing with the anger of the desperate stranger you become. That day I felt you scraping and screaming as you squatted to be free of me, and you almost did, mama, but I hung on, clinging to your womb like a dangling participle, clutching the poem yet written. I survived, mama. I survived the bruises. This six just don't fit, and I ain't nobody's damn misfit, and I can steer you screaming, boy, you ain't gonna be shit. But I am. And I will no longer be a pun for food stamps or income tax, because I am more than that. I am more. I am more than just sperm jettisoned from the tomb of my father's already lip affections. I am more than that. I am more. And I wish you loved me like I loved you. Wish you just loved me like I loved you. I loved you, mama. Still, you said I was born a bastard. So this poem is for all those times you beat me for looking like him. And this line is the tie that binds me to the umbilical of those moments where you made me feel like a weed without roots at the foot of an empty family tree, because there was no one there, just me. But I am not like my father, mama. I am living proof that flowers can bloom from this seed. I am not like my father, mama, because 1% of you inside me is the reason why I believe. And we've come a long way from belt buckles and criticism. And I just want you to know that all the love I ever knew grew to create me from you. And I'm going to take all this power and all this rage and leave my heart and soul on the Dockbookshop stage for you, because I am not a bastard, mama. I'm a poet. I'm a social worker. I'm a man. I made it. And one day, my metaphors open up heaven's doors to leave temperance across the sky. And that day, that glorious, wonderful day, you and I will soar. Happy Mother's Day, mama.
Look, maybe I should have went first, bro. You know that's my favorite. So, you know, okay. So, y'all, I'm going to do this in my raspy voice. So this is really new shit. And it's the first time I ever done this. So, look, okay. Black boy. He be black boy, says smile, worth more gold than the Ivory Coast. Coals rise up, meeting the morning rays of the sun from the crowns of his blackness. Eyes brown as the earth, as the stars meet his gaze. Resurrection be him with no crosses to bear. He be black as night skies with twinkling stars for eyes. Nebulas are in his seed. He be black king in so many ways. He be black as midnight, moon worship his melanin sun. Skin glistening like morning dew, as black boy lips sweeter than molasses, hands hard as rock from the sheen, white folks green with envy. Eyes red till they beat my boy black and blue. They sprinkle his ashes like the color of the rainbow. Lord knows they ain't through. Mothers line up like corn in fields, knowing one day black sons will be killed. Crosses hung with pointed, closed hands in prayers. My son, my son, my son be the sun rays shining on moonbeams, drinking mother's tears, adding milk to black mama's fears. My son be black. That's it.
One more time, y'all, for Queen Ess. Everybody, give it Queen Ess.
And Mike Guinn.
Thank you very much. All right, now it is time for our featured author. She's gonna do her thing, and I'm telling you, she's gonna do it, y'all. It's been a wonderful, wonderful opening for this wonderful artist. Let me go ahead and read the bio. All right. I tried to abbreviate this long, as prestigious bio as much as I could, but I couldn't. I had to keep stuff in, but I tried. All right, because it is there. Let me go ahead and start, and that's it. Okay, here it is right here. All right.
Yo.
You know, y'all.
We at the age.
Oh my God.
We at the age.
Well, thank God for Dollar Tree. Anyway. All right, here we go. She is an educator, visual artist, and writer who focuses on family, social justice, education, and the human condition. She has served as a teacher and a building and district level administrator responsible for curriculum, instruction, and human resources. She has also taught executive leadership, diversity management, and community engagement at the graduate level. As an advocate for education as justice, she currently provides professional preparation focused on diversifying leadership forces. Bam. She grew up in New Rochelle, New York, and received her BA from Sarah Lawrence College and completed her MA and doctorate at Teachers College, Columbia University. She is a 2018-2019 Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture Fellow. Now, her photography has been exhibited in various cities in the United States, and her writing has been published in Medium, Essence Magazine, at Sankofa.org, and in Crisis Magazine, and as an advocate for education and justice. The images portray the patience of nature, a slice of the street, and the love of a family. The poetry delves into a family, social justice, and the human condition. The prayers echo a spiritual journey towards self-fulfillment, self-fullness. She pushes through self-inflicted barriers and finds herself whole and fulfilled on the other side. This collection is a declaration of poetic perfection and stated it is never too late to transform doubts and vulnerabilities into bravery and confidence. This woman brilliantly claims her voice as an artist with this book, which is filled with soothing, gorgeous photographs and poems that will make your spirit glow as you shed a tear and at times even smile. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Dr. Hasna Muhammad. Give it up, everybody.
I was wondering if I could read from
Oh, yeah, we good. There you go.
here, everybody.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
Thank you.
You want a shirt, baby?
No.
Okay. We're gonna use this mic.
You were right, Mom. I want to be like y'all. Thank you so much. You did such fabulous work. You know, and I was talking about you taking off your shoes because that's when you get started.
Yeah.
You take off your shoes. Yes, yes.
You need to make it off. You think you need
I
it?
don't know.
We'll have it here just as just to pick you up, okay?
Okay,
So how about that?
all right,
I
good,
think it's good.
good. I'm gonna keep my shoes on though. I know, when I turned 40 a couple of decades ago, I started taking off my shirt.
Oh.
So I can't wait to see what happens when I turn 70, what else I'm gonna take off. Thank you so much, Doc Bookstore, Mike Guinn, wherever you are, for hosting me. Thank you, Sister Stephonia, and my clubhouse sister, Queenie. My daughter is here, Islana. I am really privileged to be here in Fort Worth, in this town, and in this particular bookshop. It's a beautiful place. I'd never been to Fort Worth before, so of course not to the dock. And I'm so pleased to be here. I'm happy that this place exists for poets and people like you, and for all of us who love poetry and literature and books. My book, Breathe in the Sky, Poems, Prayers, and Photographs, is the outcome of me really trying to be my authentic self. And many times people ask me about the cover, where the cover comes from. In 2020, I started taking birthday self-portraits. And the cover is from that photo shoot. There's another image inside the book next to the piece that I'm going to read. But it really reflects the energy that I've had even as a little girl. My sister kept asking me, there's something about this cover photo that, she recognized, she was something nagging her. And what she realized is that the expression on my face, what I captured in the portrait, is the expression that I've had as a little girl all the time. And I see pictures. And when she said that, I was like, oh, you're right. And I want to challenge you. I took all of the images in this book except for one. And I challenge you to find it. And if you find it, let me know. Email me or something. But the poem that I wrote for my 2020 birthday is called That Little Girl Still. And I'm going to read that. And it is dedicated to Laverne Davis. And that's the name that my parents gave me when I was born. And you know what happens when you grow up and you do stuff that's different than what your parents had in mind. I opened my eyes as that little girl who'd lain on the floor wondering if she could walk on the ceiling. Today,
I am that little girl still. The one who believes she can fly, the one who hangs upside down on the jungle gym, letting her blouse fall down around her armpits. Today is the day I climb boulders and conquer the backyard, find friendship in butterflies and solace in the sound of the wind. Today is the day that I spin until I lose track of where I am and laugh out loud when I fall. After many trips around the sun, I am that little girl still, the one who swims upside down underwater and walks on top of the snow, the one who loses herself in time and believes her own explanations. She sings a charge into song and then skips, jumps, walks back into her big girl shoes, cape waving behind her, fearless, determined, whole. Today, I smile light from my heart and embrace my little girl self. Thank you. I dedicated the book originally to my sisters who share my mothers and daughters, and that was literal. My daughter, my niece, my aunt, my cousins, those of us who are related. And I realized that that wasn't enough. That if I am to be a compassionate person in this world, and if I am to see myself in every human being, I had to broaden that dedication to include more than just my relatives. So this piece is a dedication to my sisters. To my sisters who share my mothers and daughters. They love and are loved with abandon. They have open hearts and wide arms, long enough to touch the tiniest and all others of us, including herself. To my sisters who are married and rarely wears her wedding ring, she doesn't have to. Besides, she plans to return her diamonds to the earth, and in exchange for a thin braid or yarn or twine, even then she'll put it on only when she feels like it. To the one whose husband is dead or otherwise gone, she reinvents herself and moves to the country, opens her paint boxes and brings fresh flowers to her table, no matter who is sitting there. Maybe she is not married at all and does not want or have children, or lost the one she had. Maybe she is yet to be born or was left a blood clot in a sterile container on a backroom floor instead of being birthed to life. To my sisters who lock their talent and desires inside of cabinets and turn everything away except their heads. Their eyes remain fixed upon what could be instead of what could have been, if only. To the ones born in someone else's body, we welcome her warmly, no matter how her body reads. She is who she is, and this is where she's supposed to be. To my one breast, no breast, those with tubes tied, dried ovaries, and uterus gone. Even with one eye, they see more than we do. To the furious ones who beat on chests and knock down doors, obliterating obstacles for all of us, because you can't do this any longer. She won't allow it. We don't want to hurt you, but we will, because there is always someone to take her place, and she will keep at it until the result of negligence and the weight of ignorance and the blood of violence is washed away by tears we are finally able to shed, until the soil is quenched only by rain, and we can't imagine it any other way. To my angry sisters who are actually shaking inside, pretending to be fierce, when in reality, they can't summon or call for mercy, don't know how, or they're just too scared. So they yell, cry at everything, or giggle for no reason, with hopes that someone notices and holds them tightly when they are done. To my sisters who use switchblades or machetes against her rapist killer and is incarcerated, maybe for his actions or for his own mistakes. To the collateral damage left behind and the ones on the outside who hear your voices bounce from the barbed wire above the walls, you are not forgotten. To the sexy sisters who want to stick her tongue in my other mouth, especially those whose voice and eyes steal the attention of my man and leave me wanting her too. To my sisters who swap themselves for drugs, money, survival, or any other sense of self-worth. To my sisters who wear heavy gear and bring weapons to kill children instead of embracing them when they need it the most. To my sisters shot in Tennessee, murdered in Myanmar, Tarhuna, Turkey, and El Salvador, starved in Tigray, beaten in Belize, muzzled in Hong Kong, disappeared in Nigeria, lost in Palestine, and hidden in Rwanda in a bathroom for 3 months. To sisters holding tight to the hands, arms, or empty shoes of her children as she flees from the unconscionable to the unconscionable. To my sisters who cut and are cut all over the world. To the living dead among us, sisters not yet chopped into pieces, stuffed into garbage bags, and found at the bottom of rivers. They may hurt themselves or their loved ones and need careful looking after. To my sisters who appear to be in a stupor and who really may be, she resides inside the framework and timeline of her own mind. We are the ones who are talking to ourselves and need the charity of others, a safe place to lay our heads so we can watch our possessions. To my octonona and centenarian sisters, we will speak to you often. We will touch your bodies, make sure you take oils, eat fresh food, and hydrate. We will keep you warm against the cold, even in the summertime. To my sisters who tend stolen land, that they and their mothers protected first, above the resources now depleted, below the sun they now follow. She swims in the ocean daily and apologizes to starfish and the coral beneath her feet. To my sisters who listen and build bridges and schools, she prepares her daughters to lead nations, to be whole, unwaiting, free from the bondage of other people's expectations. To my sisters who have yet to know their own strength, hear her own voice, drown out her own critique of the sag of her breasts and buttock, flap of her triceps, the knock of her arthritic knees, or the spaces between her uneven stained teeth. To the sisters who don't know who they are or which tribe to be, you belong everywhere. To the ones who cannot look at me and do not talk to me out of fear, shame, jealousy, or just because I remind them of who they are. Too bad, because I could learn a lot from them. To my hard-working sisters, like those who take care of other people's children while her own are somewhere else. She has no time for mirrors or perfume and puts on her lotion while riding a bus. She holds the hollar of her hips until Friday night and then lets them loose like pinballs all the way through Monday morning. To my sisters who wear someone else's hair, thins her nose, plumps her mouth, shortens her big toe, doubles her eyelids, pierces her tongue, buys 3-inch fingernails, and wears 5-inch heels. To my equestrian, fencing, skiing, surfing, skydiving, scuba diving, Maserati driving sisters who defy all lenses that constrain. To my big feet, bare feet sisters. To my bad breath, funky ass, stank sisters. You are beautiful and perfect, whether they know it, feel so, or care. To my church going, mosque praying, temple chanting, no going at all sisters, as well as those who lie flat on the soil beneath trees in the forest to receive and to give and are God. To any sister who wants or needs to be saved, we are searching for you. Yeah, yeah. You in there, everybody's in it. Everybody's in it. Everybody's in it. Everybody. Get me started. Touch me before you speak. Put your thumb on my lips and swipe right. After a few seconds, the corner of my mouth will turn up and I will welcome you in and let your tongue hide and seek with mine. Look for me in my eyes as you wrap your arms around me. Lift me from the floor and say, good morning, my love. Ask me how I am, and I will tell you that standing here with you is my ever present. Then leave me to myself. Let nothing disturb my silence or my stillness. Hope for me a peaceful contemplation, a powerful affirmation and productive focus on whatever ways my energy awakens to speak. Knowing that there will be more of me when next we encounter, you decide to wash your car. Sometimes I think you love that car more than me. I say, you laugh and ask me to help you. Come to me when you're done, I say. And when you do, pay attention to my details. Spend time with the nape of my neck, fingers first, then nose and cheek. I will moisten and warm when you near my ear. Linger on my left shoulder. Press against my back, grab fistfuls of breasts, belly, and below. Part my ways. I will suck air between my teeth and reach for you, any part of you, as my body responds to your response. Talk to me. Ask me those questions that only I can answer. Yes, it feels good. No, I don't mind. Oh, it definitely belongs to you. Make me melt into your music. Take me to your divine and splendid. I will open my lotus a layer at a time, coming deeper every time. If you care for me, if you want for me even that which comes at your expense, I will return to you in abundance. So cuddle me throughout the day for minutes at a time. Hold my hands in the small of your back and whisper what you want from me. Give me every reason to fuck you right where you stand.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I can't read that everywhere. This one has an image that goes with it, and it's an image that I used a technique called painting with light. The room is totally black. You have a long shutter exposure, and you use a flashlight and you paint the light on the image that you want. I used it for the image on To Love You, but that was a static image of a vase and a platter. So it looks clear and, like one image. I also used it for this poem, I Wonder If She Knew, but the flashlight light, I pointed it at me. So because I'm breathing, because my heart is beating, I was moving, and the image came as two. And I know that I look like my mother. And in that image, I saw not only me, because it was a self-portrait, I saw my mother too, and it freaked me out. It was very spooky. It was like, whoa. I put a lot of pictures that I take up in my house, but I'm not putting that one up. I wonder if she knew. She hid her pilot lights behind her back, sat on her wings so that others could fly. Most times, she relied on others to speak of important things. Other times, she thrust herself through stammered breaths and quick shakes of her head, all while saying incredible things. I wonder if she knew how deep she was. She was loved by a man who knew how to love her, and that love filled in whatever she missed about loving herself. But her doctor's remark about the defacement of her body was worse than any scar could ever be, and made her forget to see herself whole. She thought often of the breast that could have been saved, the work she could have done, the property behind the garage that she should have bought. Regretting her hesitations every time, always searching for counsel from above and below, stepping on her voice and intuition, she stayed within arm's reach and did not reach for rings that clearly belonged to her. I wonder if she knew how beautiful she was. More than once, she said aloud that she didn't deserve, and that one day she hoped to become worthy of the space she occupied. Not wanting to distract with her own manifestation sense, she needed the voice of others as her own to notice herself. Wearing the skin of humility and the heart of godliness, perhaps she knew but found no words or way to speak aloud the doubt she grew to ignore by walking in tall grasses and planting trees. I wonder if she knew how loved she was. She was convinced that she should give more to others, that she should always offer the larger portion, the better selection to everyone first. She must wait until the end to take care of herself and keep her own time. Paying her dues and praise to others who stood at her expense, fitting not quite in and caring not much for the rules of doing so. Looking into the center of so many worlds except her own, she held herself down to release another. I wonder if she knew I was watching her, mirroring the frown in her smile, folding myself in half and then quarters, holding my breath, freezing my movement, minimizing myself to not need or want anything other than necessary. I still scan myself for misses and mistakes, missteps, malalignments. I'm still reading insecurity and ambivalence in all its form, mine and hers. But my little girl woman can only last so long in that position. Eventually, I need to expand my lungs, breathe in the sky, bare my breast to mountains and talk back in my voice that tells me to resist the path toward losing myself in search of another. A voice she quieted in herself and exchanged for hand-me-down obfuscation of the joy she wanted for me and so many others. I wonder if she knew what I learned from her, that she, who was trapped under layers of invisible shards of glass, did not want me to see her stop fighting, that she wanted me to be relentless, fearless against forces that do not lift or light, that I must go farther than even she could throw me, and that I should erase with a fury any diminishment from the ultimate divine and forgive her. The third baby of teenage parents, she slept inside a dresser drawer, bore a childhood disease, and never felt she had or was enough, not even for me. I have been touched by a woman's tendency to mix life without the ingredient of self. I have been sitting beneath the weight of her self-doubt, waiting in a vacuum for something to pierce my casing and let air in. I used to think that it should have been she to save me. I now know that it can only be me to break out and clean up any doubt that is spilled onto me from her or from any other notion that I am less than complete. In her name, but for my sake, I shed the sheath of fear and self-consciousness and stand in my own nakedness, without her eyes on my shoulders fixing me. I turn my flaws into flowers, into the blue and lavender hydrangeas she picked and placed on her table. I liberate myself and stand on assured ground, unencumbered by mirrors, shadows, or footprints. I wonder if she knew how hard I would try. I just have a couple more and then I will stop. This is one of the prayers that I had. It's a mantra. Mantras would come to me in the morning and they stay with me all the day. Sometimes I would clean my crystals with them, and they became a part of the book. And it's called, First, I Forgive Myself. Then, with more than my breath, I expel the inflammation of pain, anger, sorrow, resentment, fear, comparison, disappointment, doubt, regret, and inhibition. Through excrement and sweat, I shed skin and hair, release memories, drop mistakes and misgivings, self-judgment, and missed opportunities. Step out of them like underwear. I let go these weights on my spirit, let go and create space, make room in and linger in silence, stillness, nothingness. I acknowledge few thoughts, choose words carefully, and hold my heart open. Patience seeps in, time goes by, and finally, more than with my words, I pick up and put on selffulness. Wrap round my spirit's silken rods of presence, inspiration, independence, confidence, determination, direction, focus, industry, and self-acceptance. I soak them up from the soil, will them from my feet to my extremities, awaken from slumber their topaz embers, and rub them across my body, into my pores, down my throat, and embrace them as sisters. I brush myself with sunshine, inhale winds of lavender sage, sip raindrops in fits of laughter, smile at the moon, stand tall on the horizon. Gravity knocks on every door, but I am open and fly away. I'm gonna just end with one of the poems that really brings joy to my heart. It represents a freedom to me and a sense that I know it's never too late to do anything. And that if I am to do what I want to do, then I need to do it. It's called Live Unlived. I be chasing metaphors down mountains over hills toward freedom, for I die. Too long I've been missing wisps of sunset, haunt unseen and fall into unforgiving hollows. Too far, time unspent run down my knees, puddle glue beneath my feet on landing with no stairs or doors through which to break and follow out. Space between clenched hands been all I could imagine. Now, I be chasing drum beats flying dance for I die. Places ungone dare me outlive my frame of mind. Beckon feet cross grounds damp still by steps untaken. So I be chasing lifetimes living high for I die. Chance to love unloved, breathe joy unhinged tween outstretched arms, unfurled skies. I be gift of girl mud finger hair uncombed. I be tipping Mars, picking blue hydrangeas, shoes untied. I be laughing friends, tinkling glass with wine-stained tongues. I be swimming naked neath night's persimmon moons. Thank you so much.
You can stay here. One more time, y'all give it up, everybody. Brilliant. We were gonna have a Q&A, but I think she answered all the questions, didn't I? So next is the book signing. We're gonna turn on the music, and then we're gonna come up. We're gonna the people that bought a book and